Damn, I'm at that good level. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into another episode of the Greatly Destined Podcast, episode 15. Today I have a couple of fellow comedians, good buddies with me here today. I got Josh. I got... tell the people your stage name, please.
Gemini the Savage.
Gemini the Savage. Very funny woman, amazing woman. And she funny as hell, man. I wanted to bring her onto the show today because she's a strong black woman with strong values, you know. And today, was it a couple days ago, there was a big time movie. Not sure if you guys heard about it. The Little Mermaid. You know, got a bunch of people up in flames. A lot of people love it. A lot of people angry about it. You got some white people angry. You got some white people happy. You got some black people happy. You got some black people angry. I wanted to talk about that today, and that's why I wanted to bring a black woman onto the show to hear her perspective on the Black Little Mermaid. When you first heard that the Little Mermaid was black, as a black woman, what was the first thing that went through your mind?
I kind of got the feeling of 97 Cinderella vibes. It's like, oh, we get a little bit of representation with Disney, a little bit more. So I thought it was a stretch.
Yeah.
In a positive light.
You thought it was a good thing, though?
I thought it was a good thing,
okay.
Yeah.
As a little girl, imagine the young version of you. Do you think she'd be inspired by this?
I would be.
Yeah.
As I said it before, I was personally inspired by the 97 Cinderella when Brandy and Whitney Houston and all that. So I'm glad this generation got to experience the same feeling that I felt.
That's what I was, I think I was telling you that the other day at Bremen when we were at that mic. And remember that superhero family from back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what their name was. Cool as hell, man.
I remember they had like a dad eagle.
And they were on Disney Channel, and I love them just because, like, I was 5 years old. I've never seen like black superheroes. So just even at 5, I thought that was real cool. Those are my favorite superheroes on TV. Right. So like I'm satisfied. I kind of always thought we've already had that representation. And to me, it didn't necessarily matter because it's Disney, you know?
Yeah.
Because I would prefer our things to be black owned.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Is like, why do we wait for Disney to make us so happy? Oh, we finally got a Black Little Mermaid. Well, black people can't write stories and produce. They're hella black animation writers. They're hella black animators that we just don't pay attention to because they're not associated with this big Disney brand.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where my mind immediately went, is like, why are we giving Disney $150 million because they finally decided that black women are beautiful, something we've been known.
Yeah.
And now we're going to say, thank you, Disney. You finally did it. I don't know. Angela, you think I'm tweaking?
I think you tweak it just a little. I have to call a spade a spade. I don't even think it's us celebrating the fact that Disney finally acknowledged something, right? Because they gave us Tiana, right? So it's like, I don't know. I think it's just more like, okay, so this generation has something to look forward to, that there's more, or that there's more frequent or additional representation, because it's not even really just for us. It's not really just like a Black Unite thing, because there's Asian representation there. There's plus size representation in the movie. I just think that it's something to celebrate. Every small win is something to celebrate, even though there's a bigger goal.
Okay. So the bigger goal is not lost on you.
No.
Okay. Yeah. But that's my thing. At least you still see the bigger goal. A lot of us forget the bigger goal is like, how long are we going to let Disney? First of all, the reason that we're so excited that there's a Black Little Mermaid in there in the first place is because they've oppressed us for this long. They're like, black people aren't beautiful enough to be princesses or whatever the case may be. Right. So that's the only reason why it's such a big deal. Because if they never oppressed us, if they never told us we ain't shit, we wouldn't be all happy. The fact that there's a new Black mermaid princess in the movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you really take a step back and think about it, isn't that kind of, I feel like we're putting ourselves in a position for the mainstream, let's just call a spade, the white mainstream society to validate us. We're letting them tell us when we're good enough to be in movies. We're letting them tell us when we're beautiful enough to be seen as princesses or something. And taking that as a win, in my point of view, it's kind of rooted in Stockholm syndrome. Stockholm syndrome is when you is when you connect with your oppressor.
Right.
Like the only reason it's been this long since we've seen a black princess is because the oppressor's been telling us, y'all aren't royalty. You're the bottom.
Okay, so if you're at this point, what do you think we should do from this point on?
I feel like we should. Now you can touch on this. I feel like we should abandon this excitement from getting connected with Disney and all the big major networks and focus on something like Tyler Perry's doing. Tyler Perry, from the very beginning, he said, like, they didn't want to mess with him. He said, okay, I'll start my own production company. I'll do everything my damn self. I'll hire my own black people. I'll create my own characters. I'll create my own legacy, to the point where he's created a Tyler Perry Studios, and you got white movies that are paying him to film in his studio. That's the blueprint that I would rather put on a pedestal as opposed to Disney finally validating us.
Well, so, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Go crazy.
So respectfully, I hear what you're saying. However, objectively, right, I think we're focusing on the wrong thing. I think we have the same point, but we're sitting on two different sides of the line.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like, oh, we're rewarding Massive for going ahead and representing us, right? We're not going to do that. You get what I'm saying? I think the blueprint should always be what's instilled in our DNA, and that's to just keep pushing forward, making our own way, because as Black people, we've grown into that. Like I said, it's kind of formed into our DNA. So we're not dismissing that aspect at all. Could that agenda be pushed a little bit more, as far as more Black animated series, or more companies that pushed forth the issue of more UPN days?
Ooh, UPN, I remember those days.
Like that. So let's not get that confused. We definitely want to stay on track with that. But with the Black Little Mermaid, I think it's more like acknowledgement. Exactly. That's the win that I'm sitting. Okay. That's what I'm thinking of. Like, okay, so we get a little bit of acknowledgement too.
Right. So the girl looks at the TV, she sees a Black woman.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I am not discrediting that. Don't get me wrong. Yeah.
No, I don't think you are. I just think you have a more, I don't even want to say political. You just have a different way of looking at it, and that's okay. But we all have to get to a point of understanding so that we kind of each other know where we're coming from. So that's respectful. I understand that. I'm not knocking what you're saying. I'm just saying it's a little different.
It's my vision, my point of view right now. It's a very tunnel visioned point of view. Like, I'm only seeing the end goal, and I'm not paying attention to the I guess the little sweets on the side that you can appreciate on the way there.
Right, but that's like Beyonce going on stage and just singing her songs and just pushing through her songs and not acknowledging her fans. You get what I'm saying?
And not acknowledging because on the road, the journey, maybe not acknowledging, like, it's like basically like, maybe if Beyonce got on stage and she's paying too much attention to having a good show, and she's not having fun while having the show, while performing the show. Because, like, maybe if I'm not acknowledging the Black Little Mermaid, and I'm not seeing it as a victory, I'm not acknowledging, like, the little wins along the way.
But seeing it as a victory to what, though? I think that's the point that we need to get to. Because, like I said, it sounds like we're saying the same thing, but when you say, like, you don't want to acknowledge it as a win or a victory, what do you mean by that?
A victory is like, it kind of means when a goal has been completed.
Well, I'm familiar with what a victory means. What I'm saying is based off of the Little Black Mermaid, what victory are you saying that we are celebrating too soon?
I'm seeing a lot of people I'm seeing a lot of people on social media just excited about the representation as a whole.
I think for the older generation, and I don't mean to speak for everybody by all means, right? I'm not that girl, right? So it's nice to feel that nostalgia, like I said, because I'm 32, right? I love the fact that my niece gets to be like, oh my God, Little Mermaid. She's very familiar with the story. We've read books. We've watched the cartoon, right? But just to see that little sliver of representation is like, yeah, you can, it's a, I can't explain the feeling. And it's not even like a rewarding feeling that they made Little Mermaid Black, because that's not the point. It's just the fact that, oh, look, this big, massive storyline, this big movie has Black representation.
Mm-hmm.
And I felt good that my niece could feel that the same way earlier TV shows or earlier movies made me feel.
No, I'm not going to lie. Representation is important as fuck.
It is.
Because let me tell you, the first person and it's funny because I really don't like him today, but the person who inspired the hell out of me, and I said, I am going to be a successful Black man in this world, and I'm going to do everything to make that happen, was Barack Obama.
Oh, okay.
I was in 3rd grade and I went to an all-white school.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like everything was just white. Yeah. And I would just notice that Santa Claus is white. The people at school are white. My teachers are white. Everybody on TV is white. Mm-hmm. So it was just making you feel some type of way. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then to see this cool lad Black man put like being what do you call it, when inaugurated into the, putting his hand on the Bible, taking the oath, being inaugurated to be put into the White House to be the 44th president of the United States. That just inspired me a whole different type of way.
Yeah.
And it made me the person I am today. And today I don't like him, but it still made me the person I am today. You know what I mean? So it's like, I can see what you mean by at least what it's doing for what it's doing for young Black girls is a positive.
Yeah.
So we could focus more on that.
Okay. Just to tap in really quick, Josh. I'm sorry. I'm trying not to hog the mic, but keeping in mind that, that rewarding, well, I'm not even going to say it's rewarding, but that feeling that you had when he got placed into the White House as the leader of the free world, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't in charge.
What you mean?
The president is never.
No, I understand that.
You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's still a house full of white people.
Yeah.
If you want to mark that, or if you want to kind of put that on the same level playing field,
it's the exact
as Disney,
same level.
It's like the exact
She's
same
literally
situation. Exactly.
And the person who made the movie, the people who are making the most money behind the movie are not going to be Black people. It's going to be the same white people.
Exactly. But it's about the feeling that you got when you got to witness that.
Yes.
That's what we're cheering for. That's what we're celebrating. It's not like, okay, but there's a bigger picture. You saying, stay focused on the goal. You got to stay focused. Look at don't have a little more tunnel vision, right? But most of us are just like, well, shoot, we get that little bit.
At what point do you think that can start holding us back if we focus too much on, like you just said, most of us are still, at least, the representation makes you feel good. At what point do you think that will start holding us back if we only focus on the representation? That
depends on your level of complacency. Because even though there's representation, I'm not saying, oh, guess what? Racism is over. Or, I'm not saying that there's no type of bias or there's no type of energy that still needs to be addressed, right? It's just, how can I say? While I'm sitting on my thoughts, Josh, what you got? What you got going on?
Oh,
yeah, I'm just saying.
Well, yeah, no, I just wanted to I was thinking, I was kind of torn apart about how should we go about this on from where you coming from or where you coming from, aware of well, I don't know if this is where y'all was coming from, but I was kind of divided on the way of if we celebrate this big enough, then it could jumpstart something.
Yeah.
Big. Or, you know what I'm saying, if we just kind of limit our excitement and go for the next project, then, that could jumpstart something. So I'm a little torn between this.
No, I see what you're saying. You're saying both ways can inspire change.
It could be the next It's Hot in Her. You know what I'm saying? When that came out, everybody's still playing that. You know what I'm saying? So, that could be the next Nelly hit. You know what I'm saying? The Little Mermaid. So that's all. I don't, I'm rooting for it either way.
That's true.
But I can't wait to see how this play out. How long it stick around, how well. I can't wait to see it. So I'm excited.
But what I just wanted is I feel like Black people, we're too we are the talent in the entertainment. Like we were just talking about that the other day. Like streaming is nothing but like people just messing around, putting up a camera and playing video games.
Right.
But it just so happens that the top streamers are always black dudes because by nature, black people are just funny as hell.
Yeah, just
we're very colorful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like we sell the most. So you good?
Yeah, I kind of burped a little bit.
Oh, you're straight.
It didn't pick up. You're good. You're good.
But like, yeah, we sell the most, and like that's why I feel like it's wrong that we don't own the entertainment, the art we create, and I want to focus on that as best as we can right now. And I don't want to. Sometimes I feel like they use because they know we've been through a lot as black people all over the world.
Right.
Does it, everywhere black people are oppressed and black people are hurt because of what white folk are doing.
Right.
So they know that we've been hurt, so they can use our pain, they can use our hurt, our trauma from white supremacy and racism to profit in many ways. Somebody, there's this like professor / finance guy I listen to. His name's Boyce Watkins on YouTube, and he says it's getting high off of the crack pipe of white supremacy. So basically what he's saying is sometimes as black people, we can get addicted to white supremacy because it feels better. Like this is what happens when you've been traumatized and when you've been traumatized and when you've been oppressed. It feels better. Like it's a lot easier to chase short wins and get validated short term as opposed to having to hold yourself responsible for an entire industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because we've been blocked out of Hollywood for so long and because Hollywood didn't want us in the industry for so long, them now finally allowing a couple of us in, it's like a pick me type situation because, and it's nature. This is nothing. It's not unique to what black people are doing. It's human nature, it's psychology. Like when people have excluded you for so long, if you're not conscious to what is going on, you're going to be addicted to the drive of getting them to no longer exclude you and validate the exact thing that they're saying is wrong with you. And I feel like they put us on that like little rat wheel where we're just continuing to chase. And they give little terms like the first black person to fly an airplane, first black woman to build an air flyer jet engine.
Right.
And I don't like those terms because it makes it feel like black people are competing with each other. Like by saying you're the first black person to do this, that's kind of like you're the head nigga. And a lot of us start chasing that shit. We want to be the head nigga in charge in a white space. And I don't want us to get there. That's what I'm pushing. You know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying. I hear you 100%. I do. Like I said, respect, right? I think if we dial back just a little bit away from the oppression and away from the trauma, right? And then you start thinking bigger, like you said, right? Systematically, right? We have bigger hurdles. So I feel like we're looking at this from like on your end, you're like that parent whose baby is in basketball and you're like, I don't care if you won this game. I don't care if you won the next game.
Yeah.
You're going to win this championship.
Yeah.
Like, forget everything else you're talking about. Those be
the people that get their kids to the NBA.
You're not wrong. Venus and Serena Williams' father was like that, right? I get you. I'm more so taking it like, good job, baby. Y'all beat them by 2 points, but y'all could do better next time. That's why I said it.
Yeah, that's a Division III basketball player right there. That nigga at Carthage College.
I mean, I wouldn't say all that.
I'm taking my kid to the NBA, to the league. Okay. And like those are the people, like as suffocating as it is, that's what we gotta do.
Yeah. That's what you feel like we have to do.
That's what I feel like we have to do.
Of course.
Like I'm tired of celebrating little wins. And I think they have us on that wheel purposely so we can continue we stay exactly where we are. If you score 15 points a game for the last 15 games, are you going to keep being excited about 15 points per game? Like, no, when are you going to start scoring 20?
No, but that's where the encouragement comes in. Because tracking it back to complacency, if you're perfectly comfortable, right, making 15 points a game, you can't really talk to that person. It's going to be like talking to a wall. You have to seek out a different audience. You have to separate that.
Yeah. And as to your point, you're not being complacent at all. You're just appreciating the 15 points today. Yeah.
Correct. And I don't feel like you're saying it like we're just sitting still or I'm sitting on my hands just appreciating, just taking in what they're giving me, right?
Yeah.
I don't take it like that. But I'm just trying to get you to see, right? And not that you don't see it, but I'm just giving you my perspective on it because it does differ slightly from yours.
Well, yeah, that's crazy because how I feel like, I don't know how, what I see is like, okay, I feel like Black people, for one, just as a step one to get seen more and, branded more, they have to be able to just one simple step of like just being able to be comfortable around white people.
Yeah.
Because I've noticed that like when I take my Black friends around white people or, more cultural environments and stuff like that, they not
cultural environments.
They not, I mean, just like a bunch of different races, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like they really a little more locked up or, they on heavy alert when it's like, you can be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So right. I just want like Black people to just, embrace the community a little more. You know what I'm saying? Instead of,
I feel what you're saying.
That's all. But at the same time, it's a lot of stuff to watch out for. I feel like I say that, but just be comfortable with saying no. I would say that, but at the same time, just learn to be comfortable around
other people.
Other people. I wouldn't even say other people, but just mainly white people. I notice a lot of Black people just aren't comfortable.
So you're saying if we do start creating our own media publications that can create these movies, that can put out these movies and distribute these movies, we shouldn't disconnect ourselves from white folks while doing it? Because I absolutely agree with that. I forgot to make that clear.
I'm saying, I think that's the first step of it because it's just going to cause friction.
Absolutely.
And then it's just going to be war through different resources and circumstances. Instead of bullets, it's going to be film. You know what I'm saying? So,
throwing cameras at each other.
It's going to be that. So, just try to learn to get comfortable around some white people. Then, try to move that mission.
I guess I didn't. Yeah. I mean, I would never exclude white people, even when we get to the point where we are the controllers of our own industries, our own movies. We don't want to exclude white people because eventually the goal is to just stop all of this nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm thinking is we need to start building our own movies that will be so powerful to the point where like the white actors who are looking for roles in mainstream Hollywood, they're going to start coming to us,
Yeah.
And looking for roles. And then once you have this, both people need each other. So like that's eventually just going to disqualify the whole bullshit where they're trying to exclude white people. Yeah. So definitely, I didn't make that clear in the beginning. No, this is not pro-segregation. I'm not talking about, I'm not saying Black people need to have our own studios and no white people coming in. That's not what I'm saying. It's just, we need to control some of our industries as well.
Well, let's be very clear, right? It exists, just not as much as we kind of need to. We don't have enough to build a strong enough presence. Because if you think about it, Jim Carrey got his start on The Living Color. Living Color is
precisely good, perfect example.
See what I mean? Def Comedy Jam, that was Black owned. They put a lot of people on, Black, white, a couple different ethnicities and things like that. But it's like even Tyler Perry. Right now, you mentioned Tyler Perry Studios. It exists, just not in the magnitude that we need to have enough of a presence with. Like there's a lot of things in motion, but there's not enough to make too much noise. So what you're saying is you want everybody to be on that.
Let's make some noise.
Let's y'all y'all celebrating too little.
Yeah.
Let's celebrate when we get those studios. Let's celebrate when we have those movies.
That's a win for me.
And then you also have to think about it too. Streaming, right? There's the All Black channel, right?
Oh, that's the All Black News
service.
channel?
Not necessarily news. They have like the low budget movies or what would be considered the chitlin.
That's cool.
Movies.
That's cool.
There are black movies on Amazon Prime, right? But they're getting low ratings. If you look at the people who are judging the movies, they're not any of us.
Yeah.
People aren't like support. You have to. It's cool to build all that stuff, but if nobody is supporting it, or if nobody's like seeking that, it's going to be difficult. You have to find a balance. Like, don't mind, and don't get me wrong. Like, I want to come here and I want to be silly and I want to like give y'all a little bit of my flavor too. But when it comes to stuff like that, it's a little more serious because
straight up.
You have to look at it on both sides of the coin. People are working. People are building their circumstances. All those circumstances movie they just came over with Circumstances 4. That's a black owned movie.
That's
a black produced movie, all black, right? The movie theater was sold out when it debuted, but they don't have a lot of views on Tubi. There's a lot of black comedians that have shows, specials. Shout out to D-Rock, right? Specials on Tubi.
Really?
There's not that many people going and liking it or rating it.
Okay, so this is exactly why we need to start making noise when black people do that. Exactly. The reason why black folks aren't going on to the Tubi and on the Amazon Primes and rating it, because we just don't really know it's there like that. Yeah. Like, we know Tubi is there, but it's like Tubi movies. We kind of laugh at it like Tubi crazy. Yeah. But like we can laugh, you know, it's funny, you know, like some of the scenes be looking goofy, but let's still support it like crazy. Yeah, even film You know
festivals.
what I'm saying? Because like they're working with what they have.
Exactly.
Like, have you guys ever seen Nigerian movies? Like Dave Chappelle said, one of his statements was like, he said, I don't understand why like black actors in Hollywood, why we don't just go to Nollywood and just start making movies there. It's like they have a whole movie industry with like the third biggest movie industry in the world with black people, black producers, black directors. And they'll be more than happy to have like Idris Elba and all of these big time black actors, Denzel Washington, come over and start making movies there with the African producers, bring black producers, and we just take off. Like, we already have something going over there. And that's what Dave Chappelle was saying. And you saw, like, if you watch a Nollywood movie 15 years ago and you watch it, you see them on Netflix, right? You see the growth.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen
a full category?
Have you ever seen full category? Have you ever seen that meme of a Nollywood movie from like 15 years ago where this one lady, this one guy, like he slapped his wife or something, and she was like, "You slapped me, you monkey!" And then you seen that, and she brought out the ring. He was like, "Marry me." Like, that's the bullshit. It was so bad. And we've come a long ass way because like Nollywood is investing in itself. You know what I mean? And we can do that here in Black Hollywood as well, or in Nollywood, or combine the two. You know? Yeah. That's Fox. Remember when Fox was hella black back in the day?
Oh, those were the days.
Yeah. Were you a 90s kid? Like, you grew up in the...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Or Martin was obviously, that was like the top show. The representation was bigger back then. It is why? We kind of digressed.
I think the movement meant more. I think it meant so much more. It was because if you think about it generationally, right? All those people just witnessed.
Make sure you keep speaking to the mic, my bad.
My apologies. I saw myself pulling away. I see that's what I was like, wait. Hold on. So all those people that generated all those black shows, right? They got to witness the hardships that their parents had to go through to get them to where they were. They experienced a different type of struggle, right? I mean, similar, but different levels. So it was easier for them to be like, okay, y'all, let's pull together. It's too much going on. Let's go ahead and pull together. In a way, we don't have that now because everybody's out for themselves. So it's a little more difficult to, if I'm answering your question correctly.
No, you are.
It's a little more difficult to pull everybody together now because everybody want to be top dog.
That's kind of like what I was just saying. Yeah,
exactly.
And with social media
that's
now,
why we got to be careful and really pay attention.
Right. And with social media now, they can run the show their whole self.
Exactly.
The whole time.
Exactly.
You know
well, with social media, we can also come together and run it ourselves together.
That's true.
So it's like it goes both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was saying with, sometimes I feel like they start to use the little things. So all other black people are focusing on, oh, I want to be the first Little Mermaid. Oh, I want to be the first black guy in a Marvel movie. I want to be the first black Superman. And we're focusing on, okay, what about the togetherness of all of this?
Right.
Like what you were just saying, we lost that in the 90s.
Right.
In Living Color, Keenan Ivory Wayans started in Living Color. Literally, okay, Saturday Night Live, y'all ain't gonna be putting on black people like that. Shit, we'll do the exact opposite. We'll do our Saturday Night Live and get our one token white guy, just like you guys have your one token black guy. Right. We'll do the exact same shit in reverse. Yeah. Martin pops up. Martin Lawrence becomes the producer of Martin. I think the person who created Martin was a black man. What was that other show? Not in Living Color, but Living Color?
You talking about a different one?
With Queen Latifah?
Living Single?
Living Single. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Exactly.
But the answer to that was Friends. They ended up taking over the script once that show got canceled. Mm-hmm. So
Nickelodeon, they got Kenan and Kel.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, things were black out here in the 90s.
I ain't gonna lie, like with the internet though, like it paranoid a lot of kids and a lot of teenagers going for, you know, the arts and Hollywood and stuff like that, because I remember I heard everybody know the frenzy of the Illuminati and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was a big distraction for motherfuckers actually going out and trying to put, you know, themselves into the art scene and in Hollywood and shit like that. Like, bro, I don't want to be a part of the Illuminati, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Like my cousin tells me that sometimes. Like he really don't like seeing himself as a big time rapper sometimes because
he thinks
he feel like if he get to that level, he gonna get an offer or some shit like that. And it's like, I feel like the scariest thing is, what if there's nothing stopping us from actually achieving that high level of art and branding for ourselves? Like, what if that's just, you know, some kind of gimmick that, just something in the way. Yeah,
people definitely do that.
Yeah, a gimmick that some people just kind of stretch.
And if that is the problem, then that's more reason for you to want to do it our damn selves. Because if you start messing around and getting too close with the mainstream, aren't they the Illuminati?
I guess so.
Exactly. So if you don't want to be in the Illuminati, we should like focus on producing it ourselves.
I just think like, I just feel like it's a big, I feel like to get into those kind of circles, you gotta probably put yourself into those kind of circles. You know what I'm saying? Like a person that would be on fuck shit in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, we can cuss on here?
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah. You could be on fuck shit, you know, in Hollywood, but a person to be able to tell that. You know what I'm saying? But they'll still fuck with you just because they stretching their patience, or maybe even just to get somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I just feel like, like that shit is kind of a mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear a lot of the time, bro, like a lot of people just don't go for certain levels of art because they feel like they gonna get into the Illuminati or some shit like that. And it's like, wow, I did not know that was really stopping people from going out and doing art out here, bro. Like, that shit is real.
Well, to a big scale, probably. Like, they don't want to chase, definitely. They don't want to chase. It's not just Illuminati. They just don't want this, like, you got to do shit that you don't necessarily agree with.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
and they over sensationalize.
Exactly. Like, you know, like it's just like, it's not necessarily Illuminati, like the straight up devil, you know, but like, it's just like, it's selling your soul to a certain point. Yeah. Like, for example, during 2020 in COVID,
right?
Not black people weren't messing with the vaccines. We didn't want to take the shit.
Yeah.
But you had all these black celebrities who were told, get your ass out there and tell your people to go take these jabs.
Yeah.
And like, that's like selling your soul.
I feel that.
It's like your community has told you, we don't trust the jabs. Leave us alone. But then like you, because you're a black celebrity, you're gaslighting the community and trying to get them to change their minds on something they're standing 10 toes down on. See? And like, that's a perfect example of selling your soul. Or when a black politician is running for office, you got a black celebrity like Joe Biden, like Cardi B interviewing Joe. Cardi B interviewing Joe Biden when his dusty behind hasn't even done anything. This man said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. And she really stood by him and still supported. Like, that's selling your soul. Yeah. Instead of us to realize the bullshit that's happening, you got black celebrities who are trying to get you to not pay attention to how these politicians are using you just for votes. They're like, no, just vote anyway.
Yeah.
Like, that's selling your soul. And like, people don't want to mess with that. They don't want to get anywhere close. And me and you were having a conversation about this a long time ago. I was like, if this comedy thing blows up for you, would you rather have it like a Joe Rogan type situation where like he kind of created his own fame and he owns his own fame? Or would you rather be somebody who's connected to the industry?
Like who? I think you said something.
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would love to be in a Kevin Hart position though.
I prefer the Rogan. Because that Kevin Hart, Rogan is more of a free man than Kevin Hart. 10 times over.
I would say that, but at the same time, the impact that one man can have can change a lot of shit.
What impact?
I mean, just on business in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, I done seen Kevin Hart sell. He got a restaurant. He got his own liquor company.
Rogan's a businessman. He has his own podcast. He has his own comedy club. He has his own restaurant.
I'm saying, but on that scale though, like the scale I would say is a little more grouped in. So the output is.
I won't be surprised if Joe Rogan has more money than Kevin Hart.
Look it up.
Because when you own your own shit, when you own your own shit.
Look up. See who got.
I think we've done this before, and I was wrong actually.
See who got a higher net worth.
So why
it says
doing that?
It says Rogan. Yeah, go ahead.
No, you good.
It says Rogan is 120 million. That's his net worth. Yeah, I'm probably wrong. Kevin Hart.
I don't know Kevin Hart net worth. I ain't seen it.
450 million. Yeah, I'm wrong.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like the output is gonna hit so many people when you got so many people backing you up. You know what I'm saying? That's why I say black people need to learn to trust white. I wouldn't say like completely learn to say no to dangerous shit, you know, because I
get what you're saying.
But at the same time, like you ain't gonna get nowhere not trusting white people.
Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying. Please,
not like that.
This is a public podcast. I'm not saying. I'm not saying I don't trust. Okay,
I don't think that's what you're saying. But I'm saying like as a
white people, I don't hate you. I trust you.
No, not you, but as like a general thought. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I just think like, you know what I'm saying? We need to get a little more comfortable with the white business.
With having someone back you financially instead of pulling it up, kind of like just struggling or scraping to get by.
Exactly. No matter the race.
I hear that. I hear that.
Yeah.
We can let our guards down a little bit, but always be aware that there's a history. When they're tired of you, they'll drop you like a hot pocket and find a new Negro the next day.
And that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? But it's true.
Yeah.
So you always have to keep that in mind. And that's why it's like, as a black person, I'd rather go the Rogan route.
Yeah.
And it's just also things like, as a black, like things, the conversations we're having right now, Kevin Hart can't be saying that.
Yeah.
But if he was on some Rogan shit, he can. You know what I mean?
I mean, Rogan's got in a bunch of ties over shit he says.
Like what? Rogan said the N-word 76 times. He's still the number one podcast in the world.
That's true. I don't know.
That's the power of owning your own shit.
That's true.
And like, that's what I'm saying. Like, until we get to that point where we can own our own shit, we won't be able to say the things we want to say, have the conversations we need to have on a public platform until we...
Yeah, but
it's balanced to get there.
Saying, like me as a person, I don't really need to say anything that's against somebody that hard. Like I really don't feel no way it's about nothing. Like you have
no, I don't. No, I don't.
I'm not saying like distinctively, but like you have a lot of passionate points that a lot of people be like, oh yeah,
that's different.
That's what I'm saying.
I've never heard that before. I can agree.
Why you would want your own thing, but me. You
don't care like that.
I really don't care like that. Like I'm really more in the picture of, is you straight? Am I straight? All right, now let's go have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you're looking at it like your local people, like your friends, your family. Are y'all straight? Y'all good? Okay. Then.
I mean, really just the common person. Really,
and that's okay.
Yeah, the common person. Like, is that person straight? Am I straight? All right, we straight. Let's go have a good time.
I don't know. I have a big ego, and I'm just tired of seeing black people at the bottom. It's like I'm tired of seeing people who look like me always getting the shorter end of the stick. So it's like I can't just leave it as, are you good? Are you good? Are you straight? All right. I need all of us to start.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. At one point, I felt like that too, but I felt like I couldn't really.
But this should be exhausting. Yeah,
it would be exhausting until you get to a place where you could really do something about it.
Yeah.
And that really comes from money. You know what I'm saying? Like once you got enough money, then you can put in certain.
So what you're saying is, to his point, you're perfectly comfortable with having your own or developing your own as a black individual, but you don't mind working with others who can financially back you, so you can learn the ropes and learn certain things that you can't learn from doing things by yourself.
Exactly.
Initially. And then who's to say that after that journey is over, right? Because all contracts come to an end, right? That you can't then branch off and do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the output is it's a greater output for more people rather than just myself.
You feel like it'll be a more impactful outcome than trying to scrape to do it yourself.
Exactly.
Okay. I can see that.
What was y'all guys' favorite black shows growing up? On it could have been Disney Channel, Fox, Nickelodeon.
Favorite black shows. Everybody Hates Chris. It's a good show.
I Forget You a Baby.
Yeah.
I was like, Everybody Hates Chris. That was last year, wasn't it?
No.
Everybody Hates Chris. Is that a black show though, or is it just a show about black people?
It was a show about black people.
Yeah.
That wasn't a black show.
Mm-hmm.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah. Like there's a difference. Like a black show is like Martin.
That's Chris Rock level. You got to think about it.
I grew up watching Martin,
He's
so I can't even keep track of it. You said what?
I said that was more like Chris Rock level. So he used his partners to get that show.
Exactly.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, I get you.
I loved Living Single.
Oh yeah.
I liked Living Single. That was good. I watched that with my mom a lot. There's a lot. I don't know, because I don't know if My Wife and Kids is a black
That's a black show.
That's a black show.
That's a Wayne's.
Yeah, I love that show.
You can always feel a black show versus a show about black people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like Blackish is a show about black people. Everybody Hates Chris is a show about black people. My Wife and Kids, that's a black show.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean?
Fresh
That's a
Prince of
black
Bel-Air.
Fresh.
Different
You think so?
world.
Really? You think Fresh?
I feel like Fresh Prince is a show about black people.
Really?
You think
I wasn't getting black show.
Really?
But you were watching it more at the time, as to your point, and we're babies compared to you, like you said.
Yeah,
we were watching reruns, and it's a little different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They start playing and then got to the mainstream.
Got to the mainstream. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So then, what did you think about A Different World? Do you think A Different World?
I wasn't watching A Different World like that.
That's a good show. I don't remember because I was so young, but that was just a good ass show. Like. Just the characters, the vibe.
Wait, which one was the one when they were in college?
A Different World.
A Different World.
Which one was the one with Queen Latifah?
That was Living Single.
That was Living Single. Yep.
Okay.
And then what was I about to say? It was that fuck, I can't get it now. I don't think this was a black show, but I liked it. But it was like about the two twin girls.
Tia and Samira, sister.
Was that a black show or not?
I
think that was Disney.
That was a show
Disney,
about black people, but it was given a little bit more black than those other shows were.
Yeah. What was Kenan and Kel? No, Kenan and Kel. Was that a black show?
I think that was a black show, if you ask me.
It didn't feel like it.
I don't think it was.
It didn't feel like
it. Didn't feel like it?
I don't think it
didn't feel like it.
They were a little nuanced. I could tell the both of them watched a lot of Martin growing up. Like there were little things that Kel would do, like I am sorry, like shit like that, like that. He was influenced by Martin Lawrence, and like that's why I was feeling like I was feeling the blackness in that show. I can tell
they brought blackness to it.
I can tell their comedy was influenced by black comedians. Yeah, but maybe the branding of it and Nickelodeon widened it up a little bit.
What about Steve Urkel? Was Family Matters a black show?
No, that was a show about black people.
No, they couldn't have been. They couldn't have been.
Even shows like on UPN, like Malcolm and Eddie, right? Or was that Fox? Was that Fox?
Malcolm and Eddie?
Yeah, with
that was probably Fox.
See, you feel me, right?
Yeah.
I think that was probably Fox, wasn't it? Because that was as much as I would like.
One-on-One was a black show.
No,
Was
it wasn't.
What?
Was it?
I think One-on-One was a black show.
No.
It was not.
You don't think so?
Nah.
Because if that's the case, you could say All of Us was, Girlfriends
All of Us was
a black show. No.
Girlfriends wasn't a black show?
No.
No. Definitely not.
It wasn't.
What about Half and Half?
Brock Allele or whatever. No, that wasn't.
Tracy Ellis Ross?
What about the Parkers?
What about the Parkers was black? That was black as hell.
I don't know.
You don't think
know.
so?
That was pretty commercial.
No.
That was pretty commercial.
Really?
The Parkers
look at the
was
lineup.
pretty commercial.
I'm gonna have to watch these shows again.
Look at the
that
star
was pretty
lineup.
commercial.
Look at the star lineup.
Professor Ogilvy was
Right.
talking to him.
It's Professor.
I always remember that one shot of him when he was hitting the vending machine in the intro.
Yeah.
I don't even think Moesha was a black show.
Well, he should.
Really?
Wow.
I don't think it was.
Damn.
No.
I think you got to go back.
No teenage girl in that time ever. And that braided wig, God help me, that Brandy had on, that was not from a black girl. Like it just wasn't. Nobody was journaling. Hey, diary.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's some white girl stuff.
No. This is Lizzie McGuire. No, none of that. That wasn't a black. So to our point, right? There could have been more black shows, right? In a way, like there could have been more black produced. I'll say there could have been more black produced shows. I think that there was at a point in time there was a gimmick to create
black shows,
but have
blueprint
kind of like white writers, but that did jumpstart the idea or the desire to be like, man, they telling our stories wrong. Let's go ahead and let's do it right. Like we wouldn't say that. If you really think about it on a lot of those shows, when you go back, we wouldn't have said, how old are you?
24.
24. Jesus. Y'all some babies. Okay. I feel like granny, but it's cool.
What you mean?
I'm 32. So I've lived.
Serious. I hate people in their 30s. They be acting like they're so grown.
No, but it's still, but you have to understand there's still there's a time jump.
You don't look 32, by the way.
Thank you. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Black don't crack.
You don't know nowadays, but thank you. No, but it depends on what year everything shifted. Because I was born and I was watching the shows
98.
right at the near end of the Black Unity era.
So what would you say
and
it
then
was?
You saw the shift.
Yeah.
95, 96.
Damn, 95, 96.
So then it was like West Side, East Side, Best Side, all that other stuff. Like it was a lot of shit going on. It was a difference. And then the white produced black shows are coming out. Like, don't get me wrong, I love me some Girlfriends. I watch Girlfriends on repeat, but
yeah, I gotta watch a couple of those shows back because I thought a lot of them were like blacker shows.
Yeah, no. There were no black women ever say, oh, hell no, like a bunch of times.
That's true.
Even the bougie black women, like how they tried to make Tony, like they weren't moving like that. They weren't dressing like that.
What about Insecure on HBO? Have you seen that?
That's Issa Rae's show.
That's a black show?
That's a black produced show. But
it's not a black show. That's her show.
No, it's a black show.
Oh, it's a black show.
She just gives a different
vibe.
She gives a different vibe. She gives a different perspective.
I think she goes for a different
because she's a different type of person.
Niche of black people than we marketed to. Like it's not the Tyler Perry crowd she's going for.
Exactly. She doesn't have to be ghetto, and she even makes fun of it a lot during her show. She doesn't have to be that stereotypical black woman.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank y'all for coming on the podcast.
No doubt.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. You were just telling the people about some of your comedy. Where can they see? Where do you usually do like your shows? You go to open mics anywhere? Any shows coming up?
I like the way you think. I like it. Thank you. So on Tuesdays, you can catch me at premieres called Talk Your Shit Tuesday. Shout out to Bodini. They are on 4001 West North Avenue. You can also catch me at JC Notes. They are on 37th and Villard.
Yeah.
I'm out and about. You know, I dibble dabble. I'm in a few places. Catch me. Gemini the Savage.
Gemini the Savage. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Josh, the people know you. You ain't that special. We'll see you next time on the Greatly Destined Podcast.
All right, y'all.